a place where we collect stories and circulate life-changing wisdom. I'm your host, Asher, and my co-host today is Queen Lav, and our guest is
Hey.
Alexa. Alexa. And I've never been so excited to have a conversation with these two beautiful women like I am right now. So I'm excited to get this thing going because me and Alexa, we should been talking like a long time. Today was supposed to be our day to kind of have a conversation, and Lav crashed the party. By the way, she's here, but we're gonna make
Oh.
sure that Lav is part of the party as well.
uh,
But if you guys don't know Alexa, I'm gonna let Alexa tell you guys what you don't know about her, what she specializes, how she adding value to the world, and who she's been a hero to. If she's been a hero to anybody right now.
mm, yeah.
Over to you,
Thank
girl.
you. My name's Alexa. Man, words to like explain what I do. Always fumble with them, but simply put, I'm a generational healer, and I help people come home to themselves through their body, their home, and their land. And I feel like, this sounds corny, but I feel like I'm a hero to anybody and
Mm,
everybody, right? Because like whether I'm in the grocery store and you smile at someone, that I could be their hero, right? Or I'm my dog's hero, right? I'm my boyfriend's hero, I'm your hero. Who knows, right? Like you never know when you're impacting and people don't tell you, and then they leave a mark, or I leave a mark on them days later. And so I don't know, anybody, I guess I'm a hero too, and I hope that I get to be a significant hero to more and more people as I discover myself and my purpose more and more.
mm.
So
Well,
yeah.
well, that's awesome. By the way, thank you for sharing that. And
Hmm.
today's theme is around needs, what you need to think, do, or feel. That's not happening.
Hmm.
But we wanna
Yeah.
focus on dreams today. Because I was chatting with Alexa earlier and I was telling her about my massive dreams. But I wanna go around the room a little bit
Yes.
to kind of ask folks like, sometimes you gotta figure out who do you tell your dreams to. And sometimes we're not comfortable telling other people our dream, especially that big one that we had that we want to
Yeah.
accomplish, but others might not think we can accomplish it. So we're like, I don't want to tell nobody about it. I don't want to tell nobody about it.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because like when you asked me the question and I was like running around the house and I was like, I don't even know, I can't even answer that right now. Right. Right. I was like I was thinking about it because you know, I'm working on my feminine, right? That's been my journey, right? And
Mhm.
being in the masculine, I could have told you it was like da 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 da, right? And but as I grow, I'm realizing like the dream appears. I just plant the seed, like you were talking earlier,
Mhm.
right? We plant the seed and then it comes, and sometimes it looks differently. So it's like me even stating it, like you said, it's like sometimes I feel like I tell people, and then it's like, nope, it's gonna look different. And I'm like, I shouldn't even just said anything. You know what I mean? And
Mm,
so I really understand that when you say that, like, you got to be selective about who you tell, and at the same time, like, is it even not worth telling, but is it even um I guess worth telling for the purpose of it, it's not gonna even look that way. It's gonna be even better, you know?
mm. I like this guy named Sadhguru. He says one thing that if he cracks up when he said it, but it was like, I hope you never achieve your dreams. But he said it in a
Yeah.
positive way. It was like, because
Yeah.
whatever you're gonna accomplish is gonna be beyond your wildest dreams.
Mhm.
Right. So sometimes
Mhm.
you think about life, it's like, okay, this is what I want, but the universe is gonna give me something beyond that wildest dream that I have. And sometimes you
Yeah.
just gotta think about life that way. It's gonna happen differently, but it's gonna be
Mhm.
very close, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts
Yes.
there,
And
Queen
like,
Lab?
Oh, a lot. First of all, I'm thinking, yes, you have to be careful with to whom you express your dreams because they might be a dream killer. If it's worth talking about your dream, I guess it depends on the situation, but so many times it is, even if that dream changes. I mean, so what? So what if it changes? It's not bad. But you talking about it and having people around you that you trust can help you with feedback, and they can help you make that dream look even better. So
Mm,
it's kind of like it's a fine line, and you have to find the balance in between, like what you internalize and how you want to express it, and what you take from the people around you. But so many times in our head, oh my God, that thing sounds perfect and I want to do it that way. But then you get some feedback from others who have more experience maybe in that field. And then like, yeah, maybe there's a better way to do it. Maybe there's a better version of that dream. So yeah.
I'm gonna challenge that thought. I'm gonna challenge that thought because I don't think there's nobody that is the expert at your future more than you. Right? You are the expert at your future. So now,
In the field?
Say again?
Expert of the field that you want to, like work on.
So you have a vision, Aleksa or Alad. You have a vision. That's something that you really want. Like it's in your future. Nobody see it but you in your future. You're like, this is what I want. And I want to go after it. Obviously, there's going to be opposition to your vision, obstacles, obstruction, always. But then nobody sees the vision but you. People are going to see the opposition, but they don't see the vision that you see like you see it. So that means you are the expert at that vision because you're the only one that see it the way you see it. Even you might try to explain it to somebody else, like, this is what I really want. They don't see it like you see it, even when you explain it. So then you gotta like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I understand you can recognize the obstacles, the obstruction, but this is my vision. I'm going after it. So I think I'm the most expert person at my vision than anybody else. I'm the most expert person at my future than anybody else. Those are my thoughts. I know you got some objection there, Lab.
That's great. No, it's not objection. It's food for thought. People can help you refine your vision. Because we need people around us, right? Like you said, you had a good talk with Aleksa. By having that good talk, maybe you can refine your vision, make it even more specific. Maybe you have a general vision in your head, but you cannot really define it as well. Now you talk to people, now you hear their feedback. You don't have to take everything from what they say. You take only what's good for you and for your vision.
I would say they could help me refine the obstruction. What are your thoughts?
Well, don't listen to those people. Don't listen to the people who refine the obstructions. Like, no, wrong person.
What are you thinking, Aleksa?
I'm honestly not thinking anything. No, I mean, because I'm just hearing you guys go back and forth, and like, there's some truth to all of it, I guess, and there's some, the truth of like whatever you like. You're kind of saying like the truth gets to be your truth since you're the one with the vision, and I really get that because with the vision that you're holding, like nobody's created it, and where like if you have a vision that's like, oh, I want to have rental properties, like yeah, there's many people doing that, so yes, there's a need to maybe like ask people and help you get there by having a network, and that goes without no matter the dream how large, right? Like your network of people help you get you to where you want to go, whether that be through money, through support, through confidence. But at the same time, I understand what you mean where nobody else holds that vision, because I mean, witnessing just the photos of like your vision, right? I was like, oh my gosh, whoa, right? And my brain couldn't even fathom like my brain initially was like, how? Like, how are you gonna do this? And it's not about the how. And I feel like what you're getting at is a lot of people like to go, how? And you're going like, this is the vision, I'm gonna do it, doesn't matter how. And that's what the dreamer, that's the mindset of the dreamer, that's the energy that they hold. Where a lot of people who come into the dream that you hold, they want to know the logistics, and that part does matter, but also doesn't matter. It's about like supporting that person and like, heck yeah, you go after that. I have no idea what it's going to look like for you, but I support you in what you're doing. And that's honestly a lot of times what the dreamer is looking for. And so that's why that network of people is important, right? So that you're sharing it with the right person. So yeah, I think that's what I have to say.
Perfect answer. Combining both of us, both of our opinions. Yeah.
You're wise beyond your years, Aleksa.
Thank you.
No, really, really. I felt what you said just now because I think you're making a lot of sense. And oh, by the way, Lav, the thing I don't think I've sent you those photos actually because I was working on it today. But I was thinking about this vision I have about this crazy vision. This is what I would love to see, right? I would love to
Are you
like,
going to share it here with everybody?
yeah, I'm sharing it. So the thing, so here's the thing, right? What do I know I'm gonna accomplish this? I don't know, but I want to. Now, is
Yeah.
it possible for me to do it alone? Hell no. It's gonna take a lot of
Mhm.
people. Who those people are,
Mhm.
I don't know. But this is the dream.
Mhm.
This is the vision. And the vision is this. I would love to like occupy this 9 square miles of piece of property in Africa somewhere, right? And I would love to build like this complex, like a coliseum. You've seen a coliseum, right? Like a
Mhm.
football stadium, whatever. I would have to send you the pictures. I was trying to work on I can construct it. But it would be a setup where it's like a community. So everything would be in that coliseum. The hospital, the schools, the apartment complex, the homes, the marketplace, the supermarket, everything, all of that stuff would be in that coliseum structure. So like when you have the football field where the folks sitting in the stand, so those gonna be like apartments that's facing inward. So inside of the dome, there will be like where you have those parks, right? I mean the stadium will be like a park, open park, right? Like a central park set up where like something like that, right? Inside of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's a design, and then the plan is like, okay, so if you have folks that are in the state, the melanated folks or whatever, right, that want to move back to that location, back to Africa, then we have this community structure set up where they can move back there. So then I was thinking about, okay, who would I tap on? I would want to move back there. So I was talking with like some of my veterans, my retired veterans, or veterans that got out of the military, folks that have military experience. So we can go back there, organize. If we can help leaders in Africa's different countries, whatever, work on the defense system, the defense structure, right? Protect the resources. Just kind of like use our knowledge or skill set, go back there, provide that confidence and educate, so forth and so on. But that's part of the vision. But I would just love to see that structure start built over there, set up community wise. So that's what I
Mm.
was sharing with Alexa earlier, and she was like,
Mm.
"What?" But I was using AI to kind of
Yeah.
create the imagery of it, and it was looking really good. I was like, "Oh my God, let me keep playing with this." So
What
it
AI
was
are you using?
well, I was using so in DALL-E was the AI. In
DALL-E.
ChatGPT, yeah, DALL-E, yeah. Using ChatGPT and DALL-E combined, kind of work on it in there. But yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
You can be a #1 architect on Mars.
Oh man, listen. With these AI tools, you can because I'm building my vision board. That's the reason I was working on it because I have a speech tomorrow in Toastmaster, but this is gonna be that same dream. But then I was thinking about putting together my vision board, just kind of put stuff on there to kind of see what it looks like. So I'm just gonna work on it, a digital vision board. I'm gonna work on it.
Mm.
But yeah. So what are your thoughts, Alexa? I know you saw this stuff. Who was chatting? We didn't get a chance to finish the chat, but yeah.
Ah. What are my thoughts? I mean, I think, do you know where in Africa you want to have it?
So I have a few countries. So I was talking to my buddy, he's from Kenya, and it
Mhm.
was like one of the country, Tanzania has like a lot of like pretty big size land mass, pretty big size land mass, and they're actually I think they speak English, but I think it was colonized by the British. I can't remember. I gotta go look that up. But that could be a location or Ghana or Kenya, so where, but I don't know yet the location itself. So I don't know the location yet.
Mm.
But I would get
How about
specific.
Jamaica?
No, I'm not going to Jamaica. Jamaica could be some other project, but definitely Africa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
Alexa, you were going to say something.
No, I was just thinking the structure. I don't know how big Jamaica is, but I just like the structure that he wants to create would be too big for Jamaica, right? Potentially.
Yeah. Jamaica. I mean, yeah, it could, but that structure need massive
Yeah,
land,
it needs
massive amount of
land.
land. Yeah.
So, okay, I guess my question is, do you want me to ask you questions about it that could like not challenge it, but kind of like
Sure.
probe like more details, or do you want me to just support you in it? Because like it is a
Wait,
vision that
I love it. Hey, do you want me to crush your dream or you want me to support you? Tell me right now.
Oh, actually,
No, not crush,
Yeah,
but
I
I know
was
you're
just
yeah,
making a
but
joke based on what we talked before.
yeah, I know. I just like truly, I don't want to crush it though. I'm more just like I don't know Africa in terms of like its civilization and like how I mean, I know it's some of the areas are third world countries, right? So it's like, is putting this structure going to be too advanced for the civilization is the question that I ask.
Oh, not at all.
No?
Not at all.
Okay.
This is the thing. So this is why. So my goal right now is eventually I want to leave America. That's my goal. No, I wasn't born and
Mm-hmm.
raised here. I came here
Yeah.
looking for opportunity resources, right? This is a good place to get resources as far as financial resources, so forth and so on. But as far as natural resources, Africa got everything, right? It's just a matter of we need to get the right kind of funding and stuff to do different things. But they got everything there, everything. It's just a matter of connecting the right people. So that's why I'm here. Like, okay, so I'm talking about the dream because I don't know who's gonna be the person. Like Asher, actually, I love that idea, and
Well,
we know
my
some
hair
people.
to stop you right there too. Like I have a gentleman that I work with. He's a practitioner, and he is was trained as a shaman in Africa,
Mhm.
and he goes and travels to Africa and actually has a school there. So like that was the first person I thought of when I thought about your dream, because I'm like, all right, somebody that goes there, travels there, like knows an aspect of the community to know like, oh, like this development would be so amazing here or there, right? Because like I don't know Africa that well. I want to go there really badly. So when you said Africa, I was like,
Me
oh,
too.
so cool. Like, yeah, um, totally have roots there at some point. But yeah, so that was like the first person I thought of because I just don't have a lot of background from this lifetime at least to know that to know what it's like, if that's something that would be needed there and what the community's like there. So yeah.
I'm gonna put a pin in that conversation a little bit. Then I'm gonna ask you, what
Okay.
is your big dream, Alexa, if you don't mind sharing? That big
Oh, mine?
moonshot, that massive one that you like, oh man, I would love to pull this off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always say mine is like I've always wanted simple life. I've
Mm,
always wanted the simple life. But with a simple life, like yeah, I like the riches of life. But when I say the riches of life, I mean like being on a plot of land and being able to just go on a hike or do whatever, have the freedom to um not have to work a 9 to 5, you know?
mm,
So um my dream is to own a lot of land and have a farm, and on that same plot of land have a house, but at the opposing side have a big building that would be this almost like retreat center,
mhm,
and it be labeled soul home where people can come and feel like they can feel at home. And my goal, because like I feel like the building, the structure doesn't, like if that didn't even exist, my goal is to be like a world leader, change the world in terms of how we operate and live. Because I truly believe the way to change the world is through families. If I like, that's just like my pinpoint that I've realized that feels so right. Um and I want to create more conscious moms and dads, or soon to be moms and dads, whether they know 5 years out, 10 years out, right? They just want to have a family and they don't want to do it the way their parents did, right? And they want to be better, right? And in that, just that desire, turning on a light bulb in them where they don't have to take their generational stuff with them, their depression, their sadness, their diabetes, whatever it is, and pass it along to their kids. We keep doing this same cycle over and over, and then we blame our kids. Or we're like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to teach them. No, they're trying to teach you. And
mm.
I think that we're at such a disadvantage where like all of us have grown up to believe like adulthood is hard. It should be easy, but our childhood doesn't set us up for it because we live under our rock, whatever rock that is, right? Every rock is different. And what it really should be is a rock that's like a foundation of safety and clarity and love from both parents, and really teaching about teaching about unity and not separation. So, and in about like being more in nature and coming back to your nature. So it's just like a big movement. And could it house a building? Absolutely. But it's like, I just want to change the world. And I don't know how exactly.
So it sounds like you are already doing that. You started that. But how are you helping couples or parents, or are you a therapist, or what is your business? What are you doing?
I'm a healer, so I don't have a book background because I don't believe the books have all the answers. Um, and I truly think that your intuition and knowing your soul. So I help people do the soul work, and get to know themselves through self-discovery. A lot of times we have this chronic pain, whether it's like I was saying, sadness, depression, diabetes, all this stuff, right? And we go to the doctor, right? But really that like pinpoint tells a story, a journey of a point where you didn't feel or an ancestor didn't feel. And then it got locked up and it got passed along. And so we have a lot of people locked up, not feeling, and we just need to relax and actually feel and slow down. And a lot of the shit that we get so stressed out about can just be simple. It's life can be easy. So I don't have a background of, doctorate or whatnot, but I have certifications and whatnot to support me. If that's what your question is.
No, it's great. Thank you for answering that. But actually, my question was like, how are you doing it? How is the healing process? What are you doing for them? What do they have to do?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say the example of like I had a client today. I actually wasn't a client, it's a friend of mine. We were doing a podcast recording. And then she 30 minutes before she was like, I'm a mess, I'm emotional. And I was like, all right, like let's just show up and I'll hold space for you, right? So she just like talked for like 45 minutes. And then I was like, let's do some healing, right? And then I got her into a meditation, and then I let all my tools, so I kind of like think of it as like the Jill of all trades, right? I have all these tools, and so often that you book, whether it's a session with your nutritionist, a session with your Reiki practitioner, a session with acupuncture, like you have all these things, right? However, like when you do something, right, if you're trusting that that's the thing that you need. However, what I do is I have the tools, and then I listen to your body and I do what your body needs. So it's like I bring it all and give you basically the recipe for what you need that day. So I call them like intuitive sessions because it's a mix of different things. So you could get Reiki, you could get a Tao blessing, we could do Tao forgiveness, we could do trapped emotions clearing, we could do Akashic records, we could go into a meditation. We could be talking about embodiment work, or just talking, because sometimes people just need to hear a different, like your words, when you speak from the soul and you speak from the ego are two different wavelengths. And when you speak from the soul and someone's really in their shit, that hits their soul on a deeper level. And it then makes them go like, whoa, there's another person doing this. And it's a different way of looking at life too, when I share it. Because like we all have this herd mentality. Like once someone else is doing it, we feel like we have the permission to do it also. When we all have this, but typically like the world today, we have this herd mentality of like, go, go, go. And always wake up at 5 a.m. and do this and do that. And if you're not making that amount of money, and it's like all this pressure. And a lot of times we don't even know what we want. We're just following what everybody else says to do. And so like giving them the permission to like, you already know, is part of the entire journey, is empowering the women and the men that they already know. And that and really truly, and this is why I kind of asked you too about your dream, Asher, is in the last 30 years our world has advanced more than our human body can actually take. Our human body cannot take all the stuff that we've advanced in. We are humans that are able to create whatever we want, and we've created some damn freaking cool things. However, our bodies can't take it all. And so that's why like all our bodies are starting to like fail or crash or slow down or have all these ailments. Why? Because our bodies are like this was really cool, but I didn't think it was gonna be like a lifestyle thing. And it's because like when you actually unplug from all these things that we get so absorbed into, whether it even be like electricity, like There's so many EMFs going, like the radiation, all that stuff. It's a lot of vibration and stimulation for your body. And so just unplugging and bringing people back to the simple life is the way.
You just tapped into my dream again.
I
The
love it.
simple life. The simple life. This is that's why I tell you that you're wise beyond your years. And folks don't really know you. Because I'm getting to know you every day, every time we talk. I'm getting to know you a little bit because I'm listening to you kind of like think about the things that are important. It's like it's not what the things that are trending, but what's important. And it doesn't take a lot of certification to figure out what's important. Because people might create these complex things and expect, oh, I need to certify that. No. If you go back what's important, it doesn't take a lot of that stuff. It takes very simple thinking. Right? Very simple thinking. So going back to like the simple life, where you can get up and you can do these things that your body needs versus, oh, I got to figure out all these complicated things that people just create just to think they're smart. And that's something I'm like, okay, that's not necessary. There's no need for that, right? But what's needed is these simple things. Go back to regular life, simple life, because everybody wants simple life. I mean, you put somebody in a complicated job, they're like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
And you're stressed out about it. So go back to
Yeah.
simplicity. Going back to Africa, just thinking of that
Yeah.
vision and stuff. Going back to my roots, right? When I was growing up, right? I was going back when I was thinking about my growing up, and I remember just so when I was going to school, I used to work with my dad on this farm, right? And I used to hate it. Like, man, I need free time to go play with my friends, but I gotta go move potatoes and yams and stuff from the hills and come back, whatever. But then after I get out of the life, I'm like, that was a really good life, actually. It was very simple. I get to work on things I feel accomplished after that I've done it. And it was physically demanding, but I feel good about my body because my body can handle it. But now we're moving to the future where we're at a place where it's massive land, right? And we got the community like come together. Like how do you feel about going to a farmer's market and go shopping? How does that feel for you?
Oh, love it. I just went the other day.
What about you, Lab? How do you feel when you go to a farmer's market? How does that feel for you?
I grew up doing that, so for me it's normal. It's weird that here in the United States you cannot buy milk from the person who owns the cow and just brings it fresh it in the farmer's market and sell it to you. So yeah, it's normal for me.
I love that experience, by the way. Like going to a place where like all the fruits and everything that's laid out. I mean, I see it in the supermarket, but it doesn't feel the same. Like when you go to the farmer's market, you go to
And pausing, just to pause you right there, like you just said,
Mhm.
it doesn't feel the same, right? The energy of those vegetables have a vibration that doesn't feel the same compared to something at the farm stand. And like people don't trust the energy. They trust the herd.
Oh my God.
Everyone's going to the
That's what you was
grocery
talking.
store.
That's what you was talking about.
Yeah.
And I felt that. I was like, yeah, the different feeling when you go in there, the person that's selling you the food is the person that owns the food and like they're excited about the food they're selling you. Right. And you can talk to that person like, wow, like these are my mangoes. Like I just picked them off the tree this morning, or I got them from the farm this morning or yesterday, whatever. And it's a different kind of energy. Like I want that kind of setup. Like I want to be in the area where that setup is, versus me in this frozen aisle, cold as fuck, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like,
Oh my God. Hey, I have to say, I have to share this with you guys. Life is we go through stages, right? And so many times we are at point A and we're curious, we want to experience more, we want to go out of our comfort zone, and we want to live the simple life to go to the complicated one, only to realize that you actually want to go back to the simple one. And I'm thinking about those people who they don't have supermarkets, right, to go, and they just go to the farmers market because that's their village and that's what is normal for them. And they are excited when they go inside of a supermarket and they walk around those freezing aisles because it's new, it's novelty. It's like, wow, life can be like this, right? So it's just a matter of where you are in life. And
it's interesting when you experience both. When you experience both, you're like, which one would you choose? I would totally go back to the farmer's market. 100%. Right? 100%. I would totally go back to farmer's market. Like, oh yeah, I get to go shopping. I'll go pick up vegetables today, come back.
I think that's like the journey of life that we go through too. Cause like, if you think about, we start out as our most simplest, purest selves, right? When we were
Mhm.
born. And then we become conditioned, right? And then we have to find our way back. So it's like the same thing with like the grocery store. It's like you started out with the produce and then you were like, oh my God, frozen. And then you were like, you had to try it to then realize, oh, wait, that was actually better, right? Because if you just had the thing that was amazing all your life, you wouldn't have the gratitude,
Mhm.
you know?
There goes some more wisdom again. What's your highest value, by the way? Let me ask you that question. What's your highest value, Alexa?
Highest value.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you say this because I feel like everybody asks about values and or talks not asks talks about values, right? And it was only recently that I really was like, all right, what are my values? Because like I've always said freedom was one of mine. And in the last year and a half, I like didn't I had time freedom. And then I had an opportunity where I made some money and I was like, okay, now I have money freedom, but it's still not doing it for me. And I realized in that moment my number one value, which is um, why I do what I do. And it's part of my mission, which is my number one value is family, but not blood family. It's that soul family, that tribe that bring a sort of depth and devotion that carries some sort of intimacy, right? That feels like home with people.
You spoke about it earlier when you was talking about creating that community, defending, protecting, allowing people to have that family structure.
Hmm.
And yeah, and making sure that kids are doing like you was talking about family the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I mean is like I didn't realize that like the reason I have done the work for myself is
Mhm.
because I want my kids to not carry the shit that my lineage from my dad's side and my mom's side, plus my past lives to pass on to my child or to my children. I want them to feel free and I want to look at them and instead of I did it right away with actually when we first got our dog. My sister caught me because I was treating her just like my mom would, and my sister shut down. We were on a walk, and I was like, "Ooh,
Mhm.
like that's not promoting the child, the dog, right? To be like the whole purpose of childhood is for the children to be, and that's actually how we're always meant to be. It's just being. But we teach these kids that you have to operate a certain way to be accepted in this world. But who created that standard? We did. So we just got to change the standard.
Mhm.
We got to bring it back, bring ourselves back, you know?
You think you
So mhm.
you think part of that is homeschooling, for example? Don't send them to school so they don't have to abide to the society rules and fit in.
Yeah. Yeah. Like truly I plan to probably homeschool because it's like what we're taught. I mean, and if you go back to like schools, the education system, the healthcare system, pharmaceuticals was all created by Rockefeller. And if you look up what Rockefeller was actually creating was the worker bees of America, right? Because he was trying out in a jail cell in Russia how to get these people to basically, you know, act a certain way. And then we took that same system for like people who were trying to like become military to America to be what we do for our healthcare, for our education system, and then we use oil as the driver to produce pharmaceuticals. So it's like when you look at kids today, when I mean, I thought of this in high school, probably like 2 years in, I was like, so basically, we're in a jail cell and we do the same thing every single year, but we do it a little bit different, a little bit harder. That's
Mhm.
basically it. And I'm here for 12 years. This sucks.
So you did
Sucks.
your
Like
time.
I did my time. I just went through it and I will tell you like I didn't talk for almost 10 years. I was numb and I just got through it and when I got out, I remember being in my dance recital and like all the girls in my class were like crying and I was dancing. I was like, "Woo! I'm free." Like and in the first year, I did more in that first year than I ever did in school. And like I remember even thinking like the first year I got out of high school, I was like, oh my gosh, I get to see the seasons. Like I've never got to be amidst the seasons. I mean, they take you away from nature so that you become a robot, so that you treat your body like it's a synthetic being. It's not. It's all part of the mission. And like it's not, anybody specifically to blame, like mom or dad or even your teachers or whatnot, but it's like it's a whole big mission. And I think a lot of people are changing it. That like one of the things is homeschooling, and you can learn a lot from just trusting yourself and being promoted to, right? Like parents can't teach a kid to trust themselves if they don't know how to trust themselves. And that's where it starts.
Hmm. I'm
So
gonna
how
put a
does a
pause in
kid
that.
learn to trust? Sorry, go ahead.
No, so I'm gonna put a pause in that for a little bit. I'm gonna swing to you. Like, what is your big dream? Your massive moonshot.
Mm.
I'll get to that, guys, but I really want to hear Alexa's answer on
Ah!
how do you make a kid have, trust and confidence in himself, herself. If you said parents cannot help them do that, they have to learn how to trust themselves, how they do that, and how parents can help them do that.
Well, a lot of it is embodiment, right? Like what you embody, what you show. Like words don't teach. Your actions teach. So right, if your actions are showing that you don't trust yourself, like kids can feel it. Like if you remember when you were a kid, like you felt stuff that you were like, I have no idea how to put this to words, but you
Mm-hmm.
felt like something was off, right? You just knew. And your parents were like, oh, it's nothing. It was something. It was something, right? So like words don't teach. Because I don't even remember any of the words that my parents said, to be honest. But the body language says everything. And the way to start healing is through the body. And so when you, as a mom, as a dad, right, trust yourself, that embodiment teaches your child right there. A lot of it is like we think we have to teach through words. It's like teaching through embodiment. Like I'll tell you right now, like with my dog, right? I've only had her for 3 months. She is 3 years old, so we kind of like it's a long story. But she was not very well trained. And when I took her on, I was like, I want to train her. But I also was like, I want to nurture her anxiety because I knew she had anxiety. I could tell. And I reassured her. And I remember this one of my girlfriends who's really into dogs and knows a lot about them. She was like, Lex, like when dogs normally look you in the eye, it means they're aggressive. She goes, but Ellie looks you in the eye because she trusts you. You have given her the confidence to know that she has the confidence to trust you. And I was like, wow. I was like, I didn't know that. I was like, no, I was like, I give her that confidence. Like she can trust me and I trust her that she will know when to come, know when to stay, know when to, and she does. Like we took her over this weekend, to like my boyfriend's all into trucks. So we took her to like a truck show around tons of people off leash. She stayed right by me the entire time off leash. And it's like dogs and animals, excuse me, dogs and humans are very much the same, except one can't talk. And honestly, there's kind of a benefit, I feel like, to not talking, right? It's like words
Yeah.
do speak a language of love, but at the same time, they can also hurt because it's like the body feels first. That's the first language, is feeling. And if you change what you're vibrating, because even though you say like I love you at the end of the day, right, to let's say your partner, your body could be saying like I love you, but I'm not sure I do because I don't even love myself. That's what you're saying.
Mm.
Your body language gives off a vibration no matter what this says. And that's actually to go back to what me and Asher were talking about last night. My boyfriend did some healing work yesterday for like the first time. And I was laying in bed and I could feel his head like it was at peace because he was working on his pineal gland, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all about like fear, frustration, all these things came up and he released it. And I remember laying in bed and I was like, oh my gosh, like his brain isn't going because he just released that stuff. And I could feel it in my body. I felt the peace
Wow.
in his body. That's the stuff, like because especially with guys, like sometimes they can't express what they feel because that's been a core wound for men, is feelings. Women can feel more.
Okay, my big
So,
dream. My big dream is to
yes.
come for 2 weeks at Alexa's resort on her farm and have a little cottage on your Colosseum, Asher.
How about you tell us the other one?
To be able to. Ooh, I think this is a general dream. We all want to do something that nurtures our soul and in the same time
Mm,
brings value to the community. So whatever that is, be
mm,
able to do that all day, every day. So it doesn't feel like it's work. So it's not forced, it's natural. And you can just share your gift for you, with you, and with the rest of the community.
mm.
Well, thank you both for sharing your dreams. This is a dream day, by the way. I love the dream stuff.
Yeah. So is it Lavina or do you go by Lav?
Lav or Lavinia?
Lavinia. Where are you from originally?
I'm Romanian.
Okay. Okay. I had a friend who has the same accent as you. And I think she was is there a difference between Romanian and Armenian? Or is it, no.
Armenia.
Armenia?
Yeah, there's a difference in our
Yeah.
language, but I guess there are like some Slavic influences in all those languages in Eastern Europe. So my
Yeah.
language is similar to Spanish and French
Mm-hmm.
and Italian and Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have some vowels that makes our accent sound similar to theirs.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I had a girlfriend and you remind me of her. So I had to ask. Very cool.
Sure, thank you.
You know,
Yeah,
Alexa.
maybe we can build that city in Romania.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or the farm.
He's
You look like you're daydreaming, Asher.
I am not. Actually, I was thinking about something Alexa mentioned earlier. The healing stuff. And she was talking about her boyfriend when he released that stress and she felt it in his peacefulness. And I was thinking about feelings. I think men are afraid of this. We all are afraid of we all are afraid of the way things make us feel. All of us. Like that's our biggest fear, the way things make us feel. But I think men are more afraid of the way things make us feel than women. So like I would say that we are afraid of the feminine energy because it requires a lot of feeling. And so if we're afraid of the feminine energy because it causes a lot of feelings, what did I say how we feel about women? They're scared. Like really?
Well,
Yeah.
I would say the men have, so everybody has feminine and masculine energy.
Yes.
So it's
But you
like
guys occupy it more than us. Are embodied
I
more
would
than us.
say that it's like you're scared of the power of feeling. Because we've been taught that feeling is, so actually I have this whiteboard over here, right? So it talks about the unhealed mindset and kind of how we work, and then it's like the healed more. It's so another way to put it is the conditioned self and the deconditioned self, right? The conditioned self operates in the sense of like, this is my body, this is my mind, and these are emotions. And like, at least how I was taught, right, is like, oh, your mind is logical, it makes all the decisions, and if when you make a decision from here, it's accepted. Where if you make a decision from feeling, like, you're weird, you're sensitive, and they're wrong. And that's kind of how our world works. It's like you have the mind and emotions. That's it. And the thing too, though, about the mind is like when something comes into you, right? Like, oh, what apartment are you going to choose, right? You go right to your mind and then you get in your head and then you're stuck in your head. And what do we all hate is like being in our head, right? You walk around looking at a person and you can tell like they're in like in a whole other world in their head, right? Like that's what we're trying to like pull away from, but we don't know what to move into because we've been taught like feeling is bad or sensitive, or there's no way you should make any decisions from feeling because those are super irrational, right? And the deconditioned self, the more healed self, is like, this is the mind. It's a little small blob, right? This mind. Inside the mind, there's the ego. Okay. And if you actually look at it, is we have these chakras, 7 chakras, right? We have the throat, heart, sacral, root, and we have crown up here. And these are energy centers that give off energy, which bring a feeling that then connects back to the soul or the message center, which is your heart. It's communicating the language of the soul. So when you feel something, what do we typically do? Oh, pop a Tylenol. Oh, we have a headache, pop a Tylenol, right? Because we're trying to like stop feeling so that we can use our body to get whatever we want. Where instead we should use that as a symbol of like frequency of like, ooh, I feel something. What is my body trying to tell me that I'm not aware of? And by thinking that way and operating that way, you can actually trust your emotions. And it's actually a really powerful way because then you're going to open up the soul, which is like this hidden thing that you're like, that's like just been covered up for so many years. And I forget why I even said that, but you're talking about feelings. That's why.
Let me let me
Sorry.
let me share something here, right? I
Yeah.
love being in my head. Like
Okay.
no, it's, but I mean, if you probably talk to most men, that's probably what you get. Like, I love thinking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy thinking. And I think when I think about my thinking, so to speak, it's something that I enjoy doing. So I would like to like hang out with people we can think about our thinking. And oftentimes when I'm thinking about my thinking, what I'm doing, I'm processing what I'm thinking about my trauma. Or the stuff that maybe happened in my life that I need to go and work through, right? So then you talk about the feeling piece, which I think from a woman perspective, that's like very important. But from a man perspective, thinking is more important. But then
Mm-hmm.
how do
Mm-hmm.
you go back into the space where like, okay, when it's time to feel, I know how to do it. Like I have the tools and system to do it. When it's time to think, I know how to do it. But I think for me personally, I love being in my head. I love thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how that
I
sound to
will
you.
say, no, I will say that like me explaining that, I've typically work with women, so
Mhm,
that is more women generated. And I honestly, you're right. Like men, if you look at the masculine, is more mission oriented. They're all about the routine and getting to what they want. They're very focused.
mhm,
And so it's like a totally different energy. So it's like I'd love to. I always used to say, I'm like, oh, I wish I could like master being a woman and then like master being a man, so I could like figure out both. And so like anytime my boyfriend like thinks about something, I'm always like questioning him. I'm like, why? He's like, why are you going so deep? I'm like, because I really want to understand the man. Like I really do, because they work differently, and it's actually it complements, like the woman and the man coming together, it complements each other,
mhm,
right? So it's like you're not wrong in what you're saying, but at the same time, being in your head, though you say you love it, I feel like there's got to be another way that's a little bit more grounded, because men are very grounded when they're in their divine masculine.
mhm.
Mm.
Yeah,
What's happening in your brain, Live?
the
Is
eternal
your heart or your
question.
brain?
The eternal question. How do we combine the masculine and the feminine in a perfect way?
Family.
Either that if that's inside of us or in partnerships.
I like that answer. Family. That's hilarious.
But
I
it's
mean,
go
that
ahead.
if
Go
you
ahead.
no, I was gonna say I that's kind of an open-ended question, because it's like um you have to explore both, right? There's like two different parts to it. That you have your divine masculine, your divine feminine, you have your shadow side, which is like your dark feminine, your dark masculine. And you have to like explore and know both within yourself. And it is about balancing them, but at the same time honoring which one you are. So like you'd be more feminine, if we took you as loving your feminine side, right? You'd be more feminine, but your masculine side would be able to hold you, right? So a lot of times, this is something I realized recently, is that I've gone through life wanting everybody else to hold me, but I don't know how to hold myself. So like, why am I like projecting onto everyone that, oh my gosh, they can't hold me, or they don't know what I need? Well, I've never known what I needed because I don't actually know how to hold myself. And that right there is the masculine. I don't trust my own masculine to hold me. So then I come into a partnership with a guy. Well, he doesn't know how to hold me because I'm not showing him how to hold me because my masculine isn't present. Does that make sense? So it's
Mm,
like it's really a journey of like union with yourself. And then you can do it while in a relationship. And the beautiful part is doing it together, being a reflection, a mirror of the two, and growing together in it. But if you're not in a relationship, finding that sacred union within yourself and exploring your feminine and masculine, and then dissecting the wounds within each, because there's wounds within each. I mean, another wound is like, I try to be masculine so much in my life that now I realize, like, it hurt me or destroyed parts of me in so many ways that now I try to protect others from the masculine. Like, I realize I keep trying to protect my boyfriend from the masculine, and I'm like, Lex, he's supposed to be the masculine. Like, let go. Like, cuz that's me. I'm very protective. And so I'm like, "Oh, I just get to be the feminine. Oh, okay." And it's just foreign, cuz it's like I know how it destroyed me, so I don't want to destroy another person, except the masculine I was operating in was more the shadow masculine, which is this very controlling and egoic way, where the divine masculine, which is what I hope he will step into, just part of his life journey, is going to look totally different than I know it. So why am I to protect him from something that's beautiful, actually? So, yeah.
That's a great explanation. I wanted to ask you, what do you mean by saying hold me? When you said, I don't know how to
Ooh.
hold me, what do you mean?
I like that you asked that, because that only alludes that you don't know how to hold you either, which is cool. So hold you, right? So
I'm sure I don't know. Still learning.
yeah, we all are. That's why we're all here. So I'm trying to give you an example. So for me, like, most of my life I didn't feel safe. So when I go out in public, if you're going out with friends and you're expecting, or kind of expecting on this, like, this is like your subconscious at work going like, oh, if something happens, like, I'm with Jill or I'm with Greg or whoever it is, right? And you're kind of expecting them to hold you if something hits the fan, right? Are you holding you if something hits the fan? Because I
Support, you
couldn't
mean
hold
to
me.
offer you support?
Can you hold yourself emotionally, traumatically, spiritually, mentally? Because, like, my body will go into complete shock, and still will, if something happens. Like, I have to go regulate myself, because I'm like, because I wasn't taught how to hold myself. So what I would do is I would protect myself. Oh, just stay at home and then nothing will happen. But that doesn't mean that you're safe. So, like, when you go out in the world, I was expecting, so and so that I was with to hold me. This is my personal, right? So, like, it could look different for you, but expecting, like, when you grow up too, like, your parents hold you, right? You know that if anything happens, they're there, right? And then when you step into adulthood, it's either you, your friends, or if you have a partner, right? And so you go out in that world and you think that, like, they're going to hold you just like your parents did. However, no, you have to hold yourself. And if you don't know how to regulate yourself, feel yourself, understand your emotions, your mindset, your soul, right? Again, my parents didn't teach that because they weren't embodied in that. I don't know how to hold myself out in public, like, at all. It's scary. It's like I tried this weekend a little bit, and I got to a good point, and then I was like, woo, alarms went off. Alarms went off. And it was interesting. And I'm like, I'm working on holding this, because I just don't believe that almost like good's gonna happen out in the world. I always feel like someone's gonna attack me. And that's my own healing. But holding yourself, I guess, gets to looks different than me. If that resonates, then that resonates. But holding yourself is really a mental, emotional, spiritual experience. Like, if something bad happened, where someone attacked you, controversy, I don't know, you were hit, like, can you hold that if nobody else was around? Can you hold that in your body and know that you're okay?
Mm.
Emotional
Yeah.
container.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's a lot. Yeah.
I was thinking about a picture. Can you hold the frame? Like whatever that picture is that frame strong
Ooh,
enough
I
to
like
hold it?
that.
Yeah.
I like
So
that. Well, and you know what, to your point, that I like that analogy for Lav, right? The frame is the masculine, the picture inside is the feminine,
Oh, there she go.
Nice.
right? There's the borders, right? Can your masculine hold you? And you know that you got you can hold on to you, like, because really everything that happens in life is only happening for you, so whatever you're attracting is meant to teach you something. So and even if it's the worst of the worst, right? And like, so me and my boyfriend went shooting, and I was talking to this woman last night, and I was like, I went shooting and my body was shaking every time I heard like a gunshot, and I in that moment I go, how can I surrender to death? Because I mean, that's what we're all scared of, right? How can I hold myself and know that even if like everything goes out, I got me, right? Because at the end of the day, you're walking around in fear because you're afraid you're going to die, or you're afraid something bad's going to happen to you, you know? So, yeah, just can
I
feel that.
I
Whew.
just I'm gonna tap on this because I think you onto something here, dear Alexa. So it's like we all have to have some certain kind of level of confidence in our masculine and a certain kind of
Yeah.
level of confidence in our feminine. So what
Mm-hmm.
happened is men oftentimes have confidence in the masculine, but they're very timid in their feminine. Sometimes most women have confidence in their feminine, but very timid in their masculine because oftentimes we don't know the balance of two. And we don't know what to
Mm-hmm.
show for in places where like, okay, so right now I'm here in this situation. Who's gonna hold the frame for me? Oh, I got this guy right here. He's gonna hold it
Yeah.
down. This is my guard. This is my
Yeah.
bodyguard, right? So now I can be
Yeah.
me. I can be you can be your feminine, and in this space you got your masculine holding the frame. But then if you're in a place by
Yeah.
yourself, you're like, okay, well, nobody's here to hold me down. So therefore I gotta stand in my masculine because I'm in a
Mm-hmm.
place that might be danger,
Mm-hmm.
right? So forth and so
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, and like on a larger scale, if you think about it, like a bigger picture where it has two small prints in it.
mm,
Have
mm,
you seen that? Right? So
mm-hmm,
there's two people, right? There's with their feminine and their masculine, male and female, and there's a bigger picture frame around here. Why? Because what in theory for the feminine, right? That masculine foundation, say me and Ash are in a relationship, you hold the foundation for the family. There's
mm.
the bigger frame, right?
I'm
And that's what gets to
I'm
be
gonna take it even
beautiful.
further because this is where you go.
Go.
This is why your value is so important here, because then what you have. So I always say this: men are designed to protect the community, but
Mm-hmm.
women are designed to build it. So it takes feminine energy to
Ooh.
build a community, but it takes masculine energy to protect. So that means the man always standing out there, holding the frame, protecting, because we embody that
Mm-hmm.
energy a lot more. And women are designed with the feminine energy to protect, to build the community, to connect people in the community, the family. So therefore, there's always a frame keep expanding, family, community,
Mm.
right, neighborhood, whatever you want to call it, state, country, whatever, right? Let's keep growing, but it's always there for a defense piece of it.
Mm.
Mm. You got to run, Lav? Oh, we had time, by the way. This conversation is going so good. I know you gotta eat dinner, right, Alexa? You gotta eat dinner. Is that what's going on?
No rush. I know, really, truly, I don't.
What about you, Lav? You got some time?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, because I love this conversation, by the way.
Well, okay, if we're gonna keep going, I want to kind of give you this like um seed, because what you
Mm,
just said, I love what you just said. So with your vision, right? You're protecting this vision that you have, this dream,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Of this Coliseum building. So how can you either channel your feminine or call on the feminine to build it?
mm,
Create the community, right? You protect it, you honor it, you're like, nobody's touching this, this is going to happen by 2066,
mhm,
right? And you
mm.
call on the woman, right?
Oh yeah, so that's why I'm meeting people like you, like Lav, like folk. I'm building this network, and then we gonna figure out, okay, this is where the energy need to focus on, and then we can find the worker bees, right? The builders,
Worker.
the the but no,
I love it.
you're right. Yeah, we gotta figure out the labor force, of course, and then
Mm-hmm. The
men are
labor
labor force.
force.
Yeah, but then we gotta go back and then once when the community is structured, then who's gonna hold it
Mm-hmm.
together? The family
Mm.
element, right? To keep it going.
Yeah.
Because that's what we are doing, right? Building the future,
Yeah.
which the younger
What's your
generation are.
value?
Me?
Yeah, number one. Mm.
Mm, I thought you knew that. Wisdom. Wisdom is my highest value. I thought it was close on your list too, because I would listen to you. I was like, you wise. But then you said family, which is great. But your wisdom is my highest value.
I
Listen.
love that.
Mm.
It's funny because when he asked you what's your value, I knew why he's asking you. Because I knew that he's thinking the name is wisdom.
Mhm.
Wisdom. No, I mean, I could tell you my top five, but like even like I actually because I like there's so many good ones that I try to put a word or a title because when you have like a title, say wisdom, like your definition of wisdom gets to look different than other people's definition of wisdom. So
Mhm.
when I label something a title, and I then define it encompassing the things. So like one of mine encompasses wisdom, but it's not called wisdom because um yeah, just because like I realize there's more to it and I have a lot. So
Yeah, yeah.
what about
So
you, Lav? What's
I
yours?
theme my life. I
Freedom,
theme my life around
freedom.
wisdom. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. I said that one.
Yeah, he said it. I was like, yeah, that's my
That one is
girl.
high on everybody's list. Freedom.
Yeah, it is. It is. I feel like it's like I said, like I thought it was my number one until I really like dug deep, right? Because it's like, why do I value freedom? You know, like what's really underneath there? And now it's actually like probably one of the lower ones because I realized, wow, like at the root of it is like when I have family and I have this, I am free.
You practically want to have what your soul wants to have. That's practically freedom. It doesn't mean that, oh my God,
Mm.
don't tell me what to do and I can come home at
Yeah.
whatever time I want. That's when we were teenagers, right? That was the freedom that we were searching for.
So
Don't tell me
so
what to do, mom.
I'm gonna surprise you with something here, Alexa. And you're gonna like, Asher, yeah. So I'm gonna tell you this. At the end of the day,
Hmm.
all of us, our highest value is freedom.
Yeah.
But it's freedom of family, freedom of wisdom, freedom of something.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
freedom of something, right? So even though right now we might feel like
Hmm.
family because that's the desire, but in the end, once you have family, you're like, I want my family to be
You
free.
feel
So
free.
we're gonna come back to
Yeah.
freedom eventually. So either way, it's freedom
Yeah.
attached to something. Yeah, but it's
Hmm.
good.
I
I love
guess
it.
I guess you know what you're kind of saying then is like when you know how sometimes you have a bigger vision like you do
Mhm,
this big dream and then
mhm,
you have to take the baby steps to get there, right? So
mhm,
it's like my end goal is freedom, but to get there I need to start with family and then it's
mhm.
gonna, I start with the second and then it's
Yeah.
like boom.
Mhm,
Yeah, you're
mhm,
right. Yeah,
mhm, mhm.
totally right. I love that.
All right, we're gonna wrap up. Are we ready to wrap up?
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, this was great. We should do it again.
Yeah.
Listen. I
We
love talking
should.
to Alexa because listen. I'm telling you, I'm gonna give you some edification right here, Alexa. I am because I've met you for a short period of time since we know each other every time we talk, whatever. And I'm telling you, you are very wise. And
Thank you.
oftentimes people don't understand what that really means, right? So
Yeah.
I would say this: I hated school like you in a certain way because I
Mhm.
felt like school was like
Mhm.
torture for me. Like I feel like school was a torture camp. I had to cheat my way to get to school because I just didn't learn much while I was in school. I learned most of myself after I leave school, right? Because the
Yeah.
things that I'm
Yeah.
interested in, they wasn't putting that as a priority in school, right? The things I want to
Mhm.
I want to learn this thing. I'm curious about this thing, and then
Yeah.
that wasn't what they were putting in school. So therefore, now I had to go find it. So now I see you as a person that's very curious about certain things, and you have a passion for
Mhm.
it, and because of that, your passion for simplicity makes you more wiser than most people. Because at the end of the day, we all want that simple stuff. We do. I want that simple stuff. And when you start learning the simple stuff and just recognizing it in everybody else, they're like, oh yeah, I didn't thought about it that way. Yeah, because you think about complication, not simplification.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you're
Yeah.
very wise by the way. That's my highest value. I'm saying I saw it in you and I recognize it. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hmm. What's your biggest takeaway
Mhm.
from this conversation?
Ooh. I love the way we went back and forth there with like different topics about dream, about like the frame. Like I love when like one of us plants a seed of a conversation, asks a question, and then um someone takes it to another level that I like was thinking about, but like creates an analogy for or a visual for something that we're just talking about. Like we did that a couple times and I thought that was really amazing. So I don't know if that's a takeaway, but that's my takeaway of just like feeling fulfilled from this conversation.
Hmm. What
Oh,
about
thank you,
Lab?
Alexa. I can tell you what's my biggest takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
I need to have more conversations with Alexa. Connect with her more.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
So
Thank you.
here's something I recognize, Alexa, and I know you probably doing this, but you're a great conversationalist.
I
You
know
should
you tell me
you
that.
yeah, you should put on your title next time you put like what you do, what you specialize in.
Mhm.
Put you're an idea consultant, because every time I talk to you, my ideas make a lot more sense, right? So you should put that when people talk to you, because I'm telling you, you're very smart and you're very wise, because you're like an incubator for ideas, by the way. So when I have chat with you, I'm like, oh, we gotta talk more, because when we talk, there's ways that idea just really like grows and expand. So I would say
That's
you're an
funny you
idea
say that
consultant.
because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's funny you say that because I was actually talking about how I was at a networking event last night and I said like someone will share their vision and then my brain or my soul like was like boom and it's like and like if I have the idea I feel like sometimes it's like I don't know where you're going with that Lex but
Mm-hmm.
but for others it's like the ideas just like come and almost like to your point about talking about your dream I can almost envision it for you and then take it to the next level that
Mm-hmm.
maybe you haven't thought of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's where you were going, but that was
Mm-hmm.
something I was talking about last night, and that's correlated to calling myself an idea consultant. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right. We asked you this question before. I'm gonna ask you again. What is that one thing or two thing when people do it drives you crazy?
Yeah, I remember last time when I answered.
But somebody might be
Um,
watching this podcast for the first time, this episode the first time. I need them to know
I know,
if
but I want
there's
to think of
more.
another one. If Lab has another one, if Lab has one, she can go first. I'm gonna really think
Okay,
for
I can
one.
go definitely. I will say today that I guess every time it's a different one, right? Lying and lies,
Mm,
because
Mm.
I can read behind a lie most of the time because it's the energy of that person, and
mm.
I'm like, oh,
They're
this is
withholding.
not the energy of the person with what they're saying is not coinciding, and I'm like. And I
Yeah.
don't know. That's, yeah, because I can see it. And I'm like, you think I'm stupid? You think I cannot read the lie?
See, a lie
Yeah.
doesn't need words, doesn't need language. It's a frequency.
Mm, yeah. Which goes back to our talk, right? Like everything's energy. You feel it. You just gotta trust it,
Mm,
you know? Um, I love that one because that is a true like it's amazing like when you do the work and talk about lying. Like I used to be very triggered by that as well. Like my ex-boyfriend, he would lie to his friends, like white lie. And I'd call him out on it all the time. I was like, no, that didn't happen. In front of all of his friends. I'm like, that didn't happen. Like, why are you doing that? Because it's not attractive, right? It's not attractive on anybody when someone's, I'm gonna extend what you're saying. Instead of just lying, but they extend the story to make it like better. So it's like, yes, they did go to the grocery store and they did bump into a guy, but instead of bumping to the guy, they also somehow fell into all the ice cream and then they got to take it all home, right? Like that didn't happen, you know? And so when you extend a lie beyond what it is, or send a story beyond what it is, that is like, that's the ego. And that shit pisses me off.
Hey, listen. Every story needs some fluff, man.
That's a little too much fluff. I want real fluff, not fake fluff.
Okay. Mm. So other than extra fluff on the story, like Laugh said, what else drive you crazy?
Oh, well, that was kind of mine. But no, I mean, truly, like someone needing to um the right word is not coming to me, but like needing to talk about themselves
Mm,
more and extend like, oh my God, I did this. Oh my God, I did that. Like, but did you? Because that doesn't really feel like
So
you would have done
bragging,
that.
bragging.
Bragging. Yeah. Well, bragging, but like, I know there's like a friend of ours that like me and my boyfriend always say, like, I don't know if he actually did that or if he's just saying that to be cool. Do you know what I mean? There's an energy where you know that like actually did that and made it genuine, or like they have nothing else to talk about and they need to make something up just to fit in. That's sad, right? Like
Yeah.
I'd rather be silent and be silent. Yes, be silent and be around group of people and not fit in than try so hard to act like I fit in and like be so fake that I'm not even being myself or telling true stories. That's just like, oh,
All right.
salty tongue.
I'll let that be the last word. So for those awesome, awesome folks of the Pandora's Awareness podcast, thank you so much for listening to us talk for almost an hour plus right now. But as you can see, it's always a joy talking to Alexa and Lavinia. So if you guys want to really talk to us later on, and you might be having a question like, oh, matter of fact, I'm actually Alexa. If somebody hear you have this conversation to like, oh my God, I would love to work with Alexa. She's so incredible. How can I work with you? How can I find you?
Oh, where we can find me? You can find me on Instagram at Alexa's Medicine. You can find me on Facebook at Aleksa Wilk. And you can also just reach out to Asher. Right? Like reach out to Asher. He'll just connect us, you know? So there you go.
Yeah, I know this. That's my skill is. I feel like I'm a great connector. I'm embodying that skill set of mine, by the way. I feel energy connecting people. So I'm just gonna keep
Mhm.
owning it day by day and getting
Yeah.
better at it. So, but yeah. All right, folks. Any last word, Lav?
This was awesome. You go have a wonderful evening.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. It was a pleasure.
Nice meeting you too. I'm glad I was able to hop on this episode.
And with that, folks, make it an awesome day.